I hope they put the jingle in there in post because I like our little song. Hey everyone, talk the line. Jason McIntyre, Colin Cowherd. I'm Charissa Thompson. What a weekend, gentlemen. That wasn't boring. And we know our bosses, our suits at Fox are very excited about that NFC matchup. You get Brady and Rodgers. Doesn't get much better than that. How did you guys do this weekend?
I did well. I had Green Bay was my favorite play. I had Buffalo. I didn't bet Cleveland, Kansas City, but I said I thought 10 points was an absurd number. And it's funny, I liked the Saints all week. But when the Taysom Hill story came out that he was unlikely to play, I was talking to Dave Wanstadt Sunday on our show, and he's like, let me just tell you, that's a big, big advantage for Tampa Bay and Todd Bowles, that you don't have to worry about 10 to 12 plays. And he sort of talked me into, a small play for the Buccaneers. And in the end, he was right. They just weren't as dynamic offensively without Taysom Hill.
Jameis Winston takes complete offense to that, but you are right. Jace, how'd you do?
I had a clean sweep in the KC Browns game, the under. I had it teased and getting the 10. But man, if I could just get upset a little bit about the Saints game, there's no way that you can, handicap in turnovers. Like, I know Drew Brees was terrible and he threw 3 interceptions, but handing the ball to Tampa in his own end 3 times, and they still, Charissa, were in a position where if Jared Cook doesn't fumble, right, they were up a touchdown at that point. So they're leading by 7 and they get into Tampa territory and Jared Cook fumbles. If that doesn't happen, I think we're talking about Drew Brees versus Aaron Rodgers, and just a total meltdown there by the Saints. 4 turnovers. You're not going to cover the spread or win a game when you lose the turnover margin 4-0 at home. And you could say the same thing kind of about Lamar Jackson and that pick 6. The Buffalo Bills, folks, have been outgained in both their playoff games. The opponent has had more first downs. They've basically been outplayed twice, but because of red zone craziness. Okay. The Colts and the Ravens combined to go 2 for 8 in the red zone in 2 games. Like, that's unheard of. There will be regression this week against the Chiefs.
And I just got a update in my ear. They've completely done away with their running game. They've gotten rid of all the running backs on their roster. They don't need them. All right, gentlemen, we're looking Bucks Packers. The line here is 3.5 with a point total of 51. Colin, you're up.
I like Green Bay a lot. Remember, weather, some things went Tampa's way. The weather now will be a bigger factor. You're not going to get 4 turnovers from Aaron Rodgers. Green Bay doesn't turn it over at all. I also think you get a more dynamic offense that can throw the ball down the field. I think this is a tall task, and I think Tom has met. I think he's met his ceiling here, and I also think Green Bay. It was the one game they got thrashed this year. Whereas I do think it was hard for the Saints to get as motivated when you really clobbered the Buccaneers twice. I think all the little intangibles go in Green Bay's favor, and I like Green Bay comfortably in this game.
Yeah, I would love to make a case for Tom Brady. If I could just say a great thing about Tom Brady, like, he's not getting enough respect, guys, for what he did in that Saints game. Because remember, this was a tie game. Brady's down Antonio Brown. Mike Evans has 1 catch all game. And what does he do? He trusts his young guys. Okay, 3rd and 11 deep in his own end. What does Brady do? Boom, he hits Tyler Johnson, a rookie, on probably the best throw of the weekend, the back shoulder throw, first down. And then a couple plays later, trusts another young guy, Scotty Miller, on the only pass Brady completed over 20 yards. He wasn't great deep yesterday, hasn't been great deep all season, but Scotty Miller drops it into a bucket. Brady delivered when he had to. He's going to his 14th conference championship. And now that I've said everything great about Tom Brady and the Bucs,
now here we go.
This is a very, very difficult task. I'm with Colin here. I think Green Bay's aside. I did see news. I think Jay Glazer had it that Vita Vea, the nose tackle for Tampa, he's going to start practicing again this week. He's been out for like 2 or 3 months with an ankle. That's obviously big for Tampa, but Aaron Rodgers right now is on another level. I mean, the guy's an alien. He is doing some things. I love the Fox slow motion of Aaron Rodgers at the line of scrimmage when he sees something and just smirks. Aaron Rodgers is like, oh boy, I got this. It's just one of those tells where he's just in the zone, and it's tough to go against Aaron Rodgers at home here.
Oh, see, I'm the opposite. I think it's tough to go against Tom Brady. I mean, they just went back to week 6, the clobbering that was 38-10, and this is a different Tampa Bay team now. I just don't bet against Tom Brady. The guy, Colin, watching your show today, you got all sorts of nuggets on this. This is a guy that's starting a conference championship game and has done it over 3 decades. He's the Steven Tyler that's still making music decade after decade. So I'm going Tom Brady in this one, and the Bucs. I'm all in on the road. He's not afraid of cold weather, even though he's gotten nice and warm down in Tampa. All right, gentlemen, we're looking at the Bills Chiefs. Chad Henne, stay a while. Look at him. First playoff game for him, and he gets the W for his team. Colin, who do you like here at Kansas City's favored by 3 with the point total 54.5. Patrick Mahomes still question mark as to his health.
Well, there's not only the concussion protocol, but he was limping around for 2.5 quarters. I think what Kansas City did was absolutely amazing. I mean, what if Baker Mayfield left with 8 minutes left in the third quarter? This is a blowout. The fact that Kansas City won when Mahomes was hobbling around for 2 quarters and then left midway through the third is just, it tells you the coaching and the overall depth of the talent. I think Kansas City's the side here. To Jason's point, the last 2 weeks have exposed the Bills, and this is what happens. Regular seasons, you come into town, and, there's a bunch of games. We don't dissect them. The more you watch the Bills, the more vulnerable they are. You can run on them, and they have no run offense at all. So it's a very limited offense. They do have a playmaker at wide receiver and quarterback. I think Sean McDermott, situationally, they're very good in the back end of their defense. Not much of a pass rush. I think they've met their match here. But again, Mahomes' foot, not just the concussion. What's up with a foot? Because most, when it comes to feet injuries, anything below the knee, calf, feet, go ask a physical therapist or a doctor. Those things last seemingly forever, and they're reoccurring injuries. So I think I would say Mahomes going to be playing about 75-80%. I still think that's probably good enough.
Andrew Whitworth for the Rams tore his MCL, ACL, PCL, all these things. He's like, I'm back. Someone gets turf toe, and they're like, they're out for 4 years. The turf toe gets you every time. And Patrick Mahomes went out with 8 minutes left in the third quarter. This wasn't like a series that he was gone. So,
no.
Colin, the Chiefs did an incredible job. Andy Reid, the little genius, that little Jimmy Buffett, cheeseburger and paradise genius that he is, did a great job of compensating for that. What side are you on here, Jace?
I want to hear what your playlist was before the show. Steven Tyler and now Jimmy Buffett references. Impressive.
The longer we go, Bob Seger is going to make a little debut here too. So
Against the Wind, I hear it could be a win game.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
You like that? Okay. In reality, I have to say, I'm with Colin. These Buffalo Bills have exceeded expectations. Given when you look at the numbers, you're like, how is Buffalo winning these games? And I do want to point something out. The Colts mentioned that the Bills' home field advantage, something like 7,000 fans, was significant. And if you guys were watching that game Saturday night, when Justin Tucker hit the upright, it sounded like 60,000 fans exploding. They're not going to have that this weekend. They're going to Arrowhead. And I think that the loss of home field advantage, and even Patrick Mahomes playing at 75%. Colin, what's he better than 20 quarterbacks in the league at 75%? Maybe 22? I don't know. Mahomes is he's ridiculous. And I did love Buffalo's game plan in the meeting earlier this year. Remember, they dropped into a zone and said, Andy Reid, we will let you have any run you want. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 161 yards, I believe, on the ground. Now, he didn't play this past weekend. Williams played a little bit. Edwards-Helaire hopefully will be back from the high ankle sprain. But Buffalo did everything they wanted, but Josh Allen was atrocious. It was raining, inclement weather. He was like 14 of 27. He's a different quarterback. But again, I urge you guys, just go look back at what he did against the Ravens. He was not MVP candidate Josh Allen. He did not look as confident. There was a little bit of YOLO in him, thinking like I could just make plays happen. I'm with the Chiefs here, and I do believe, like Colin said, this probably ticks up a bit once Mahomes is back at practice, Wednesday or Thursday.
Don't just casually slide in a YOLO. You're so hip on TikTok and everything. I'm against you guys on this one. I'm going Buffalo. I'm taking Buffalo. I mean, they're a Hail Mary away from 12 straight. I think they have, yes, the deficiencies. They can't run the ball. They can't stop the run. But I think there's a lot of other reasons to like them here. We don't have time for all that.
Wait, Charissa, hold on. You're taking both underdogs?
Yeah, because you know what I've done? I went with the favorite every single time this year, and it's screwed me over. So I'm going to both dogs in this one. Weather, I just want to make a note for those of you keeping track at home, weather in Green Bay, 30 degrees, 60% chance of snow in that bad boy. And then weather in Kansas City, 55% chance of rain. If we're going to take that into consideration. Two quick things before we let you guys get out of here. Super Bowl features. Guess who's the favorite to win the Super Bowl? The Green Bay Packers. Colin, agree?
Yeah, I think they should be. I mean, Tampa Bay has special teams issues. Buffalo can't run the football. The Chiefs' run defense is not elite. Green Bay's fairly flawless. I don't see a real weakness. This feels like they don't turn the ball over. They're tight everywhere else. I don't think their defense is great, but the Smith brothers at linebacker, been around the league, always in the right spot. Kenny Clark, defensive line, Adrian Amos, back end. They have Pro Bowlers or near Pro Bowlers. I just think they're really sound with a spectacular quarterback who's got a real symmetry now with his head coach. So I think Green Bay, I would bet Green Bay. I think they're the best bet on the board.
I'm a little surprised that the Packers are overall favorites. Again, you just look at that team and what they did to the Rams. Yeah, Rams have a top 5 defense, but Green Bay went up and down the field. I think, 5 straight possessions with points? I was surprised, but then you're like, oh, wait, Aaron Donald wasn't 100%, and they were on the road. Maybe you could make a case. I mean, Charissa, you like Tampa. I'm sorry, I got to stick with the Kansas City Chiefs. They were the favorite all season, and now all of a sudden they're no longer the favorite. That just seems like a bit of a market overreaction. I think Fox Bet here is playing to the audience, and everybody just saw Aaron Rodgers just dominate that game. I think Kansas City plus 200. I mean, that might be the best value on the Chiefs in weeks, right?
Yeah, I'm not changed because of Mahomes status. Colin, quickly, and then we have to get you out of here.
I don't. I mean, I'm always basically, I'm just looking for value. I actually think, and this rarely happens, I think Green Bay is the best team in the league right now. They're at home, cold weather, and all I have to give up is a field goal to 3.5. That just seems like great value. So I don't really see anything differently. I mean, I do think when you get to the playoffs, you're facing better coaching, so your flaws can be more readily and easily exploited. But to me, all this is about finding value, and I'm always looking for good quarterbacks. Maybe getting a lot of points, or a team like Green Bay, who I think is undervalued despite their glossy record and performances. I don't think if I would have guessed the Green Bay line, I would have guessed 5.5, 5 to 5.5. So to me, 3.5, I feel like I'm getting great value.
Colin, let me piggyback on that real quick. What do you take away from the Tampa 38-10 win over the Packers 3 months ago? Because that's all anybody's going to talk about all week. Well, Tampa killed them. Why can't this be close?
Well, I take away it was very windy. Aaron had a bad pick 6, and then Green Bay sort of unraveled. Not that they quit, but I think emotionally the game meant more for the Buccaneers, who were wobbling a little bit, needed to find themselves. I just think it was one of those Sundays where the game felt so much bigger for Tampa than Green Bay. I mean, listen, the Raiders beat the Chiefs at one point. The Jags beat the Colts. I mean, you do have these weird events. The Giants beat the Seahawks with a backup quarterback. You do have these Sundays where things line up for the underdog. And I kind of felt like it just felt like a bigger moment. It meant more for Brady and the Bucs trying to kind of find themselves, and for everybody to say, hey, this is a real team. It felt like a playoff game for them, and Green Bay unraveled early and kind of mailed it in.
I'm curious what happens with Fournette and Jones, because they had big games, 120 yards total against the Saints. If they're able to soften up that Green Bay middle, which we saw the Rams, Cam Akers had a good game. If they can run the ball and play a little bit of keep away from from Aaron Rodgers, I wonder if Carissa's onto something with Tampa Bay being maybe a live underdog here. Aaron Rodgers, Brady doesn't get much better than that, though.
I will say Leonard Fournette in the last couple of weeks has played some really good football. Yeah. He's a very nice complimentary. This is what I thought he would be, which is a very dependable guy, big body, can lean on people. I think Ronald Jones is really explosive. I watched his career his first year out of at USC, and he just kept getting better and better. So to your point, if the surface is slippery, their offensive line performed pretty well, I thought, yesterday. The Bucs did. They can lean on that's what the Colts did against the Packers. They leaned on him in the second half and took the ball out of Aaron's hands.
Yeah, good stuff, Colin. All right, for Charissa, I don't know where she went, but I'm Jason McIntyre, Colin Cowherd. We will see you on Thursday.